touching sharks in general is a big no-no. Unless you're in the scary predicament of having to defend yourself. And there's one group of people that's especially vulnerable to attack.
Spear fishermen and white sharks. I know that it's an interesting relationship. It's different from the average swimmer-white shark relationship. He's going into the realm of the white shark, and he's spearing fish and drawing those white sharks in to him. The spear fisherman smells like something it wants to eat. It's dressed like something it might eat. It's swimming a little bit like something it might want to eat. Only it's not swimming as well, so it looks injured. So a spear fisherman almost looks like the optimal prey item.
A spear fisherman in South Africa attracts the attention of a huge great white.
The shark sort of just swam past below me, and it looked like it was going to swim away. And it turned in such a tight circle, and it was able to be right in my face after swimming away, just be able to turn so quickly and be right there. That sort of scared me.
I wouldn't have wanted to be the spear fisherman because it's incredibly unnerving. You're being checked out by a white shark. The white shark obviously is getting super close. It wants to know exactly what you are, and you are really at a major disadvantage.
I realized, I have to do something. This thing just might take a bite. I got a little bit vocal to try and get it persuaded to not come any closer. Once I punched it, I could feel it was so solid. I actually used the punch to push myself away. But it was so solid, it actually surprised me.
A shark would be attracted to a spear fisherman because they are hunting fish, and sharks like to eat fish. A lot of times, we, as spear fishermen or as divers, we panic a little, and so then we begin to act like prey.
And sharks' super senses help them dial in on a potential meal.
Sound travels much faster underwater. So these sharks, they don't need to have these ears. They just need to have distance apart between their ears. And that's why they're kind of moving with their heads going back and forth. They're able to detect sound from really long distances away. But once they get close, then they'll start relying more on vision. Some sharks, their eyes are really on the sides of their heads, so they can't see in front of them. So they're kind of moving around, getting quick little glimpses. So at that last second, that's when their vision is really not that keen, because they're no longer able to see what they're about to bite. So they kind of make this decision beforehand, and they commit to it.
My guess is that this spear fisherman presented a prey image to this shark that it was completely unsure about. If it was sure about it, it would have attacked him. But it didn't. It kept approaching him, got very, very, very close. He was wearing flippers. He's dressed like a seal. And so the shark's going, what is this? What is this? And in order to figure out what it is, it's going to get closer and closer and closer and closer. And at some point, let's face it, the spear fisherman's going to freak out.
In the video, the spear fisherman yells at the shark. But can yelling really deter the predator?
White sharks, other species of sharks, are going to be drawn to low-frequency sounds, like deep bass drum-like sounds. There's no evidence that screaming is going to deter sharks in any way. My guess in this particular scenario is that the scream didn't do much.
Luckily, the spear fisherman's next move is more effective.
I don't blame him at all for poking that shark and letting it know that, I'm not an easy prey item. I'm not a floating chunk of flesh like a dead carcass of a whale or something like that. I'm alive, and I know you're here. When you evolved over 400 million years in the ocean, a terrestrial animal is not all that familiar to you. And you're searching for food, so you're going to check out a lot of different things. Now, for the person, that's not all that much fun. It doesn't help in any way for you to panic. If the shark approaches too close and you feel threatened, I absolutely would not hesitate to strike the shark. It's moving in tight, you strike that shark, because that shark will take off, I guarantee it.
I don't spearfish to sea grab whites. Definitely not. But I think every spearfisherman has got to accept the fact that he's going to come across one. This one came actually too close. You asked me what did I say when I got into the boat. I wouldn't have remembered. I had to watch the movie to see what I said.
It's always good when you're spearfishing to go as a pair. You want to be able to have clear visibility, so if the sharks are trying to take the fish that you caught, you'll be able to see them coming and be able to have an eyeball on them.
But having eyes on a shark doesn't mean you're out of harm's way.
For me, it's not the shark I see, it's the one I don't see that I'm most nervous about. Because that's the one that's hunting deeper, like many white sharks do. It's striking from below, and it's gonna use stealth and speed. And if I don't know it's there, and it knows I'm there, and it's in the mood to test me as a potential prey item, then it can take me out.